Just imagine. Just imagine how scanty the Bible would have been if people didn't document their testimonies. If people were too ashamed or afraid to tell of their testimonies. Just imagine how dejected some people will feel leaving church if at the end of service, people didn't come out to narrate testimonies of God's goodness in their lives, thereby giving encouragement, hope, and a reason to push further to people who are expecting that miracle, to people who are doubtful that that miracle exists in the first place. Imagine a life without hope, without evidence of the goodness of God. I remember when I was believing God for a daughter. I am an only daughter. I didn't have a sister. So right from time, I have always wanted a baby girl. I didn't want it to sound as though I was becoming ungrateful to God for giving me the children that He had given me to. But I still felt like I had a right to want what I wanted without feeling ungrateful. So despite I am like, okay, God, I'm grateful for these sons, I didn't just want to be a mom of boys. I wanted a daughter. And so I would always stick to my YouTube channel. Then it was NEZEVILLE. I used to do my lifestyle content on NEZEVILLE. I would always stick to my YouTube channel and I would say, guys, I wish I had a daughter. A daughter is one of the best gifts I want from God. And when I go to see my friends, I would play with their daughters. I would make my son's hair. Everybody knew that I was believing God for the miracle of a daughter. So when I took in for the fourth time, and I have not hidden the fact that the reason I tried for the fourth time was because I was looking for a baby girl. If my third son was a girl, I wouldn't have had 4 children because I had already gone through a lot with pregnancy. So when I took in for the fourth time and I came on YouTube, I was very open about the whole journey to having my daughter. And through my testimony, how I got my baby without any medical intervention, gender selection, God just carried the baby girl and dashed me and said, oh yeah, can you stop disturbing me? Can I rest for your matter? Oh yeah, take this girl and leave me alone. So when I came on YouTube and I shared my story of how God blessed me with this heart desire of mine that I've been nursing since I was a little girl, a lot of people connected with that miracle. I couldn't believe the power of influence. Some people that had already given up trying again saw that as some motivation, as a sign, and they tried again and they got their blessing because they held on to my own blessing, and they used my own blessing as a point of reference, just as I have used the blessings of others. I remember when Yobo's wife, the footballer Yobo, Adeze Yobo, beautiful lady, she also had 2 sons. And she's so cute. I'm sure she has been praying also that she would have a daughter that she would transfer all the cuteness to. When she got pregnant and had her daughter, I ran to her page. In fact, I followed her. I hardly follow celebrities. I followed her. And I say, God, bab me this style. I want this style. Bab me this style. And I connected with her blessing. And I say, as you have done it for Adeze, please do it for me. And he did. And I too came out with my blessing and said, see what God has done. And people connected with my blessing and they got theirs. It also happened with the way I showed the blessings of family. And I come out and I say, ladies and gentlemen, this impression that you guys have of mothers-in-law, it's not always like that though. Young ladies that are aspiring to marry have already tied their wrapper, waiting for how they are going to put their mothers-in-law in their place. Some are already praying and wishing that their husband's mother would die before they come in. They don't want trouble because of all the negative stories and all the movies that have portrayed mothers-in-law as all demons. And when I entered marriage, God bade me punk. Bade me better punk when it comes to mother-in-law. And I came to the public and I say, guys, see mother-in-law. They are in different types. So see the style God bade me. So it is possible for you to have a mother-in-law that even cares more than a mother. Oh, see what God has done for me. Oh, see the kind of love, peace, cooperation, everything that exists between me and my mother-in-law. You won't even know that she's not my mother. Oh, guys, connect. And so many people You have no idea how many people reached out to me and said, Neze, you changed my life with this thing you did, with this thing you are doing with your mother-in-law. Because of you, I believe. Because of you, I have a mind change. Because of you, I am convinced that God's blessings are perfect and they add no sorrow. And women, lots of women, lots of mothers, lots of young girls got a different mindset as to how they should approach in-law relationship. The same thing I do sometimes with the kind of marriage I have. And because of that, people have believed that good marriages exist. So when God blesses me, I go to the rooftop and I shout it loud. And I say, look, oh, if God can do this one for me, He can do it for you too. Keep believing. Do not despair. Do not lose hope. He can do it for you. And that is why sometimes I come here and I share these stories, these true life stories of my life, these testimonies. So through me, somebody somewhere would have hope and would believe, would trust God, would trust their process and know that good things and miracles exist. When we came into this country, I had everything documented. You guys saw everything. You followed us through the baby steps. When I was coming to Canada, I didn't plan that I was going to stay in 7 houses. That I was going to live in 7 places within a 1 year plus space. It wasn't in the agenda. It wasn't in the plan. Let me take you guys through the journey. Listen. And if you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share your thoughts, drop your thoughts down in the comment section, and stay glued for we have so much more coming your way. So when we landed this country about a year plus ago, the whole kasala started with Lufthansa. Lufthansa, if I shake me for you, oh God, if I shake me for you, because this whole accommodation headache started with Lufthansa. And I've said that story. You guys can check my previous videos for that story. But let me just give you check of the gist. Lufthansa delayed my flight abruptly for no reason. I don't know whether they sold our seats because we booked months ahead, so we got a good rate. I don't know whether they sold our seats to people that were just booking that week that the flight was supposed to go, which they would have resold for 2 or 3 times the price. I cannot explain what happened because they didn't inform us. We got to the airport with all our bag and baggages. I have already wrapped my oha soup, afang, all my soups, big bowls, Mamaville and Mama Peperempe, my mom. They have already cooked better soup for me. I've used better cooler, everything, wrapped it, put them in the middle of all my bags, shared them. Every bag had 1 soup. To avoid concentrated risk, I have already shared all my soup, frozen. I go to the airport with 4 children. My daughter just finished clocking 6 months. She was heading to 7 months. Small baby, breastfeeding. I go to the airport. They told me that I should go back home, that no flight for me. So you can imagine the shock. And I had already booked my Airbnb in Canada, which had already started reading. The shock was too much. My children were crying at the airport. I didn't know what to say. It was something. It was an experience. We had sold almost everything and given out everything in the house. My helps were on their way back. My mother, in fact, I cannot even describe how that incident threw us off. But let me not go into that. We carried all our bags. One person had 2 bags, plus 1 hand luggage and 1 carry-on. So one person had like 4 bags, times 4 by 6, plus baby stroller. The van that dropped us at the airport had left. We were sitting there with about 22 bags at the airport. Thinking of our lives. I was just laughing. Hey! So after that was said and done, we wasted another 10 days or thereabout. Was it 10? Yeah, 10 days in Nigeria. Our Airbnb was reading. So when they eventually found us a flight and we got to Calgary, the amount of time that we had already given ourselves that would take us to find a house, we told ourselves that at least 2 weeks plus we should be able to house hunt and get a house. But because we had already wasted 10 days in Nigeria, the Airbnb was remaining about 4 days. So within that 4-day space, we couldn't get a house. We're going from showing, jumping from one place to another, using rent faster. I don't know what played out. I don't want to even go into that. But when we go, they will deny us. They will say the house has been taken by someone else. Even when we offered to pay 5 months in advance, we were still not able to secure a house. The Airbnb was almost done. Somebody else had booked immediately after us, right from when we were in Nigeria. Because we wanted to extend it even when we were in Nigeria. We checked the portal. We even called the lady because it was a Nigerian lady. I won't forget that lovely lady. So somebody else had already booked the dates after us. We couldn't extend. In fact, to the day we left, we were calling to ask her, has the person cancelled? Because, you know, when you are like hopeless, you don't know what to do. We were calling, has the person cancelled? Hey! We were looking for Airbnb, another Airbnb to go to. And then it was the heat of summer. If you know about Airbnbs, summer is their peak period. It is always booked. You won't even see space during summer. And this Calgary event that brings a lot of people from all over Canada to Calgary, it was around that period. I think the Calgary Stampede. So all the hotels, Airbnbs, everything were booked. No place to go to. Hey, are we not going to vacate the Airbnb for the new person that has paid to enter? We were crazy. No Airbnb, no accommodation, no space. The plan that we'll land in Airbnb and go straight to our house, we hadn't found a house. It was crazy. God used a wonderful person to get us an accommodation with somebody else, temporarily in somebody's house. Yes, we had to go to somebody's house that we don't know, 6 of us, to go and stay because we couldn't find any hotel to stay. So we stayed there. The next Airbnb that we got said her space will be available in about 4 days or 5 days after the expiration of the first Airbnb. So we needed a place that we'll just temporarily stay in until the second Airbnb is ready. So we had to go and put up in somebody's house and stay there. You know, when you are staying in somebody's house that you don't know, you have to stay like, you have to pet, you have to be careful. The lady was so kind and hospitable, but we were still being careful. So we left that first Airbnb, carried all our load. All our load. Imagine the load we came with, and moved to somebody's house. We kept some of the load in somebody's garage and moved to the second place that we stayed in with some. Living from traveling bag. You know what it is for a family of 6 to be living from traveling bag? You want baby's diaper, you start scattering bag, you pick one. You want to comb your hair, you start scattering bag, you pick comb. So we're living from bag. We went to the second place that we stayed in Canada. So after that second place we stayed in, the second Airbnb, after a few days, was available. We carried all our boy again and moved to the third place that we stayed in Canada, which was the second Airbnb. So we're taking it in good stride, smiling and laughing through it all. I was doing my job on YouTube. Nobody even knew the uncertainty and stress I was going through. My husband and I were encouraging each other. We're there for each other. Oh God, synergy in marriage. Synergy in marriage, nothing beats it. Nothing. So we were at the third place, and it was at this third place that we stayed in when we got to Canada that we eventually found a house, which was the house came as a referral from that same lady that's linked us to this house that we stayed in. So we're so happy, because the children needed to start school, we needed to settle, remove our ungongo from Gadabosgo, from traveling bag to wardrobe. So we moved from this place to our first home in Canada, which became the fourth place that we stayed in Canada. Don't lose track of the jump, you know. First Airbnb, patching in someone's house. Second Airbnb, to our first home. So that was the fourth place that we stayed in. The children started school, we were fine, we were working, and everything was fine. Our plan was that from there, by the special grace of God, to our own home, because that was how we planned it. We came in ready, okay? But we propose and God disposes. And when you are in the eye of your storm, when you are going through that thing that you are going through, that stressful period, it will seem as if, why are my plans not aligning now? Why is God just not doing this thing for me? But sometimes God is telling you, Farabale, Ogbeni, Farabale. I have another plan for you. Just imagine if we had rushed to go and buy a house in Calgary. Then see where we are now. We would have started going through the headache of trying to sell the house and trying to, in fact, it would have been worse off. God was telling us, calm down. This is not where you're going to stay. This is just a temporal place for you. Relax. I am building something bigger and something better. And if you have aligned yourself to trust God, you will take life's challenges in better stride. You won't need any pastor or priest to tell you, to help you to hear from God. You would feel it. So we took it in good stride. So there we were at this, our first home, which was the fourth place we stayed in. And our stay there was not exactly as pleasant as we would have loved it to be. And at the end of the day, it became clearer and clearer that we will not be able to renew the lease at that place, that we would have to leave. So as the lease was getting closer, with the landlord and we agreed. We both knew that it was not, the relationship was not working and we needed to leave. So even before the lease came to an end, we found somewhere else. He reimbursed us for the bulk rent that we had paid and we moved again. We moved to the fifth place that we had stayed in, which happened to be the second home. And when we moved to this place, I showed you guys the place. I might be putting the picture here if I have energy to go and dig it. If I don't have energy, just manage it like that. So, I hope you guys are seeing me well. Let me sit well. So when we moved to this second real home, which was the fifth place, right? We were so happy because the place was all we wanted. Everything we've ever dreamt of. There was a daycare just beside the house. I have never seen anything like that. It was my first son, Chinemerem, that used to go and pick Chine, yeah? That was how close. For the daycare, Oyibo people, to release a little child to a fellow child that is 10, that is to tell you that they could literally see our house. It was just the next building. So we had the daycare there. We had African store just beside us. There was a gas station in front. There was the children's school close. Everything we needed to be comfortable and okay just surrounded us. We're like, God, this house is God sent. The landlord and the landlady, Nigerians, lovely couple, God-fearing. They were not giving us any problem. They were not even living close by. They were so pleasant. They were so loving. They saw us as their children because they are a bit older than us. Igbos, we speak the same language. We're like, God, you babos better style. You don't babos Tyson. This is not punk. This is Tyson where you babos. We were so happy there. I was so settled there that I had to start furnishing. You guys saw me that. I was furnishing, decorating the home. I said, this is where I'll relax and stay and build our home. In fact, we're going to build from the scratch. So it's going to take some time. We'll build our home to our taste, how we want the kitchen, how we want the living room. We'll relax in this place and buy our dream home in Calgary. As we were planning, God was laughing. God called Angel Gabriel. Angel Gabriel sat here. He called Angel Michael. Mike sat here. They said, see, Lele, look at them. Waiting that they and Gabby tell me. They were laughing at us. So we settled in, changed all our address, changed the children's school because they're not of the same community. So the school that covered that former place where we're staying is not the school that covered this new place. So we had to change the children's school, banking details, all the things, bus, daycare, everything. We did all the changing and we finally heaved a sigh. Before we could sit down on the bed to rest and say, we are done, we had to move again. What? We had to move to the 3rd house and the 6th place that we're going to stay in. It happened so suddenly. Oh, we have this referral. They need your expertise on this job. Can you do it? What job? I'm going to give the lady your number. She's going to call you. Hello, we have this job opportunity. Can we set an interview tomorrow? Okay. All right, interview. Oh, we want you. You've got the job. Offer letter. Come. Resume immediately. Did we think this thing through? We don't want the job again, though. Hey, God, though. I am it, Emio. Should we have done this interview? Hell, God. In fact, when my mother-in-law heard it, she was like, this stress is too much. Don't think that. God. God have mercy. So there we were. Something that we just did for doing sake. Let us just see. If it's God's will, it will happen. If it's not God's will, thank God. Let it not even happen. It was God's will. Got the job. Employment opportunity. Moved to Edmonton. Resume immediately. It had to be, okay, can you give us some days? We need to put things together. Like, okay, we can give you some days, but it's urgent. We need this role filled. Kukukimi. It was like a wave of sorrow from jubilation, because when the job came, we jubilated. Hey! After the jubilation, it just seemed as though it just dawned on me that Neze, this thing that you just did, that you've been suffering, that you've been sweating, I don't use the word suffering, this whole relocation, this moving, rearranging, packing, cleaning, oh God, this thing that you just went through, you're about to start again. A wave of sorrow just failed me. I just forgot the blessing parts of unemployment and started dwelling on the stress parts that I'm going to go through again. Just 3 months plus after settling in this second home, which was the 5th place, I am moving, carrying or putting my family again, looking for new school, looking for new daycare, changing banking information, address, postal office. I can't do this. I was crazy. I just became sad. My husband held me, encouraged me, took me out, bought me things, spoilt me, tortured me. Hey, he was encouraging me. He said, baby, don't worry. It is well. You can do this. Anyway, I'm here for you. Both of us will do it together. Anything you need, I'm here to help you. You are not alone. He spoke to me. After he finished speaking to me, with the Holy Spirit that never leaves me, always with me. Oh, hey, that guy has been with me right from when I was a little baby. With the Holy Spirit that dwells in me, I got courage. I went Facebook Marketplace. And this time around, there's no more relocation from Calgary, one place in Calgary to another place in Calgary. It is relocation out to another city. I started calling movers, looking for house, Facebook Market, e-viewing. Please, sir, we're not in Edmonton, but we want to view online. Blah, blah, blah. Can you video the house and send? Hey, we'll put it on the map, proximity to the office. Hey, no, this one is far. Let's try this one. We started again. We now found a place. I said, thank you, Jesus. Another Nigerian. Started looking for school. Which school covers this area? We started calling. Edmonton School Board, school bus, daycare, changing address, this and that. Everything that I had just done, I started all over again. As I was doing, my husband was doing. Movers. Let us contact movers. Movers, so expensive. So expensive. It costs a lot, thousands, for us to move our things from Calgary to Edmonton. The cost of moving. We're talking about the stress. What of the cost? No matter how much you buy new things, when you're moving to a new house, you will still see 1,000,001 things to buy. You'll be like, hey, but I just bought all these things when I moved here. How come I need all these things again? That is moving for you. We started contacting movers. Oh yeah, come. We packed our things again. I started bringing out everything, folding, packing. That was how we carried our things suddenly from Calgary and moved to Edmonton to another rented apartment, because are you going to stay in Calgary and buy a house under 1 week? The move was sudden. We had to move into rent first, settle down before we now start looking for our own home. So all this while in Calgary, while we were worrying that what is all this now, we didn't know that God was telling us that, see, you're not going to live in Calgary. You're not going to buy your first home in Calgary. I have a different plan for you. You need to trust me, because the plans I have for you are plans of good and not of evil. Because I knew you before you were formed, and because I love you. And because even if a mother can forget a child suckling in her breast, I will not forget you. So are you going to trust me or what? We moved to our 6th place that we lived in Canada. And when we moved, we knew that we're not going to last there. So we didn't even do any decorating. We didn't even hang the television on the wall. We didn't go through all of that. Immediately we came, settled in, the children started school. We started house hunting. We were done with the renting thing. We were done with the jumping around. We started house hunting. And yes, despite it during those periods of house hunting, and whenever it occurred to me that I'm going to do this moving again, my heart will fly. I'll be like, how? So I'm going to pack out of this place again in a few months. 3 months here, 3 months there, 6 months here. So I'm going to do this again. But it wasn't coming with sadness per se, because I knew that this time it was more permanent. So we started looking for a place. We're like, should we wait here, finish 1 year rent, then move? Or should we move immediately, get a house and start building our equity and know that what we are paying is for us, for our own home? We decided to get on with it immediately. And so we did. 3 months again plus, after staying at that 6th place, which was our 3rd rented home and 6th place we stayed in, we got this home. This home. And we started again packing our things and moving to the 7th place. I laugh now, but it wasn't a laughing matter at some point. And then we moved to this 7th place, which is the 4th real home and the 7th place once again that we have stayed in, which now happens to be our own home. If I didn't take you guys through this, you wouldn't have known. I would have just announced one day, hey, hi, I bought a home in Canada, and you guys would celebrate with me. But I documented the many hiccups to aid relatability, so you guys can relate to me too as a human being, to make you guys understand that hitches happen. They are a part of life. Those things that we consider challenges might just be us building our success story. And it can vary for different people. Some experience hitches in their health, some in their relationships, some in their finances, some logistically, like we did. It can come in different forms. And through this story, and through this documentation, and through my openness, my honesty, I have shown you guys my own story and my own experience to encourage somebody out there that God is still in the business of doing miracles. It might not come in the same timing as the next person. It might not come in the same shape or form, but He can and will do it for you at His own time, when the time is right. So keep believing, keep trusting God, keep trusting the process, keep working hard, keep joining others to celebrate in their moments of joy. That is one secret of mine. Right from when I was little, even things I don't have, I never envy or despise the joy of others. When I see people in their moment of joy, I am so overwhelmed with excitement for that person. And I tell God, God, please, as you did it for this person, you will do it for me. Before I got married, when I see good marriages, where I see men loving their wives, treasuring them, treating them like eggs, I'll say, God, even if all the marriages in the world are bad, you see my own, it will be good. I connect to this miracle. I connect to this blessing. So I'm sharing these stories, not for any much reason. The time I used to do all these vlogs, vlogging is not my strongest point. Though. If you've known my journey on YouTube, vlogging is not my strongest point. The time I used to edit these vlogs that waste my time, if I put it on my NEZEVILLE channel, I'll be a more financially buoyant and more financially successful YouTuber, because it will take 5 vlogs to give me the income that one video on NEZEVILLE will give me. But I see beyond that. There is a different purpose for what I do here. It's purpose driven. It's like a mandate. So guys, yes, this is my journey. This is my story. There will be many more journeys, many more things to come. My prayer is that God will keep giving us the strength and giving us a reason to celebrate, to rejoice at the end of the day. I want to say a special thank you for those of you. Some of you have been following me since when I was a banker in Nigeria. You saw the step of how I took in for my daughter, how I had her, how I relocated, how I moved from house to house. I say, hey, God. Some people will always say, hey, this is how abroad is. So you think it's easy here? I was like, God, see the way I'm jumping up and down. Am I a headsman? Am I a Fulani headsman? If I am a Fulani headsman, send me to the forest. What is all this? But at the end of the day, it is now a testimony. Thank you guys for those that have been following through the journey, have been celebrating with me, encouraging me, joining in my joy. May joy, unquantifiable joy, joy that knows no bounds, joy that will make people to suspect that it's not entirely true, that there is some part of sorrow that you are hiding, that this joy is too perfect. That is the kind of joy that would locate you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you all so much. It's me, your girl, Barrister NEZE, and this is NEZE Peperempe. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.